Good day. Good day, good day, good day. Welcome to another video in Korea about my life in Korea. Just a quick side note, if you're wondering why I remember these things, I've got photos on my Facebook that I look at and I remember stories around those photos, okay? So just a quick thing, if you wanted to know what this whole detailed thing is, how do I remember all these details? Is basically I look at these photos and I remember the stories. Okay, sorry about that. I've got a frog in my throat. So let's see here. So one of these days, when was this taken? Oh, so we went out. I forgot to tell you this. So there's going to be a lot of hopping around. Went out. A couple of characters that I've met that'll always stay with me, and I'll tell you why they stayed with me. A couple of characters that I've met. We're going to start off randomly. There's this dude, Ian. He was pretty damn awesome, so relaxed and everything. And he was the kind of guy that I could see myself have a couple of beers with. You know, he was relaxed and we talked, and he was like, at some point during our talk thing, he's like, "Hey man, I've got a bunch of lesson plans that I'm not going to be using. Do you want some of it to incorporate into your stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man." And this guy was just brilliant, and we shared stuff and everything. And Ian was one of them. Then there was Hyuk. He was very extroverted. He's very extroverted and easy to make friends with, you know. And it helped. I think it helps that we had the birthday on the same day. Oh, no, that's not Hyuk. That's Ping. Hyuk had a birthday close to me. And then there was obviously Ping. We basically connected. He was British and everything. There's not a lot, because here's the thing. I'm an introvert, so I don't hang out. Even while we were eating, if we were having breakfast or lunch or whatever, I would literally choose a spot either close to someone alone, or I'd sit on my own. And if someone would invite me over, I'm one of those guys. If someone would invite me over, I'd go, you know. I don't want to intrude. That is my big thing. I don't want to intrude. And still don't. Even if I go out at night or whatever, I won't just randomly go sit at a table, you know. I won't. I have to be invited, sort of like a vampire. Anyway, so there's... I'm trying to remember... what was her name? I think it was Bethany. She always used to sit alone or somewhat alone, and I would go and sit across from her, and it was pretty damn amazing. And, you know, we made connections that way. I remember there was this one girl, one black girl, blue eyes, white hair, and it kind of freaked me out. I'm like, huh, but, you know, she's also pretty damn amazing. Don't remember her name. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. If it's you, I'm sorry. If you watch this, I'm so sorry. And then there was Jocelyn and Maria, who hung out with Ian, and that's how I got to meet them. Then there was Callum, another British guy that reminded me of a friend of mine, and that's the connection I made. He literally looked like my younger friend at the age of 21, 22, like my friend when he was 21, 22. So I instantly sort of made that connection with him. It's weird, I know, but we sort of made that connection. And then there was, what was his name? I'm trying to remember. Also Joseph, he was real relaxed. I think he was from Canada, but he was a Korean Canadian. A lot of characters that I'll probably tell stories about in the future. But what we're doing now is I'm trying to remember stories regarding Jochiwon before we move on to the future. So there's this one guy, man, Canadian. Well, I believe he was Canadian. He probably wasn't. He was American. Oh, crap. I'm sorry, Christian, if you're watching this. But he was Korean American. Let's leave it at that. And the one day he mentioned something. Now, backstory to this specific story that I want to tell you, and we'll get to the fun bit later. This is a bit more serious, if you can believe that. About 4 months before I went to Korea, a friend and I started, we went out for a couple of drinks. And we started talking about life, love, and everything in between, And he's like, Zaffa, what do you expect to find in Korea? And I looked at him and I'm like, I'm expecting to find myself. And perhaps the part of God that I'm looking for that has left South Africa. And as you all know, I'm not a fan of South Africa. I've always been of the belief that this country cannot have a God because, fucking hell, it's South Africa. And he looked at me and he's like, man, I hope you find him. I'm like, yeah, no, same here. Fast forward a couple of months later, this dude, jock-looking guy, like I'm sitting there going, if we were in school together, most likely he would probably be the guy who beats me up or probably be the guy that I would avoid at all costs. And there's one morning he goes out and he says, and he makes an announcement. It's like, hey, there's a prayer group and whatever, or one day prayer group. If you guys want to meet up, it's always there. And I'm standing outside on my smoking spot where I took that photo, if you guys remember, with the hoodie. And with the hoodie in the snow. And I see him, and it was like at 5 in the afternoon or something. And I'm like, hey, Christian, just a quick thing. Where do they meet? Who do I contact? I want to join you, because I want to join you. And he's like, okay, cool, I'm not going to be there, but these people are there. Just meet up with her and you go. She was, I know I walked with her and I kind of forgot her name. Shit. I feel like such an idiot. So, go with them to this, I can't even remember where it was, but we went into this building and sat on the floor and we started talking. And I shared something with them that I haven't shared with a lot of people. And I'm not going to share it here on YouTube, okay? And it was a religious experience. It was an experience that I needed, right? It was an experience that I needed. And I cried, we all cried. It was an experience that I needed. And gotta tell you, without becoming too religious, I found God in Korea. Okay? I found God in Korea. And unfortunately, I know people are saying, oh, but you can't leave him somewhere. But unfortunately, I think I left him in Korea as well. But it was a religious experience, and it was freaking amazing. And after that night, I looked at Christian through different eyes, And I was like, man, that guy's kind of cool. He's kind of cool. But keep in mind, I'm introverted, so these thoughts are my own. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I make judgments of myself and other people and how they would react to me before I even talk to them. That's a problem us introverts have, You see someone and immediately you think they don't like you, and then because you think they don't like you, you don't like them. That was basically the initial thing with this Christian dude. And his name is Christian. And it was like, okay, cool. And he was pretty damn awesome, and he was happy and everything. And I'm like, you know what? That is... that you, sir, I'm 70,000 years older than you, but one day I strive to be like you. You know what I mean? One day I strive to be like you. And, a couple of days went past, and there's one guy. Now, this is when I was really happy. Now, the thing is, again, remember, introvert, underlying depression, which TaLK didn't know about. Introvert, underlying depression. My emotions don't easily show. My default state of emotion is neutral. On my face, it'll look neutral. Not anymore, though. But back in the day, I had a neutral expression, which a lot of people mistook for sadness or something, not a positive emotion. Well, I was happy inside, like I was bursting with joy, right? But my face would be like, while I'm bursting with joy, And this dude, John, and I met, he's, John, and I'm going to have to mention, I think it was Dina, John and Dina. They know who I'm talking about. You know who probably, those of you who know the TaLK people know whom I'm talking about. And there's one morning, it was 4 or 5 days after that specific incident. I'm sitting there and I'm having the time of my life looking like this. I'm having the time of my life in breakfast. And this guy walks up to me, John, fucking beautiful, beautiful soul. Beautiful soul. He walks up to me and he gives me a notepad. Out of the blue, he gives me a notepad. And he says, hey, Zaffa, well, he used my real name. He said, hey, Zaffa, I saw this and I thought of you and I thought I should buy it. And I took it. I'm like, oh, thank you, man. Thank you. And I'm like, I give him a hug, and everything. And he goes off and he's like, man, just be happy. And I'm happy. I'm like, yeah, no, man, thanks. Thank you. He's like, I think you need this. Out of the blue, I haven't spoken to him once before then. Like maybe ran into him, but never had a conversation with him. What he didn't know is I'm a poet. Yeah, I'm a poet. And a lot of my poems that I've written in Korea was written on that notepad. But he gave me this notepad. And I'm like, oh, thank you, man. And immediately I'm like, okay, I'm going to go smoke. Because I'm a man. Go outside, stand in the fucking snow. In the snow. Light up that cigarette and start crying. Out of pure joy. So, John, I don't know if you watch this. I'm not going to cry now. But thank you for that gift. I'm not going to cry and I'm not going to edit this out. Thank you for that gift. It meant more to me than you think it did. Let me just put it that way. John. And we've gone a bit over time. So in the next video, we're going to continue on our story with Christian. Ooh, I'm leaving you on the edge, hey? So until then, before I break down completely, until then, you all should have a good one, and I'm going to edit this video. Not to tears in any case. I'm going to upload, I'm going to edit and do the things and everything. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I will see you in the next one where I talk to you about a man named Christian.